In the heart of a small Louisiana town, a seemingly ordinary living room became the scene of an unimaginable horror. What if I told you that behind the closed doors of this home, a silent tragedy unfolded over years? This is the haunting case of Lacey Fletcher, a story that will leave you questioning how such darkness can hide in plain sight. Welcome to our channel, where we explore the most mysterious and chilling crime stories. Stay tuned as we uncover the heartbreaking details of Lacey's life and untimely death. Lacey Fletcher's life was marred by adversity from an early age. Diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, she faced relentless bullying during her high school years, prompting her parents, Sheila and Clay Fletcher, to withdraw her from school and opt for homeschooling. Despite the challenges she faced, Lacey's life took a devastating turn when her cognitive health began to decline. At the age of 24, Lacey's cognitive health deteriorated to the point where she became unable to leave the confines of her family's couch. Instead of seeking medical assistance for their daughter, Sheila and Clay Fletcher made the fateful decision to leave her in these conditions. What followed was a prolonged period of neglect and suffering that defies comprehension. The conditions in which Lacey was forced to exist were nothing short of appalling. Left on the couch for years on end, surrounded by her own waste and infested with vermin, Lacey's physical and mental health deteriorated rapidly. Her body, once vibrant and full of life, wasted away under the weight of neglect, with her muscles atrophying and infections taking hold. On January 3, 2022, emergency services responded to a distressing call from Sheila and Clay Fletcher, who reported finding their daughter, Lacey Ellen Fletcher, dead on their couch. What they discovered was a scene of unimaginable horror, sparking widespread media attention and a profound sense of disbelief. Emergency services arrived at the Fletcher residence to find Lacey's emaciated body fused to the leather couch, a stark testament to years of unimaginable suffering. The case of Lacey Fletcher shocked the nation with its harrowing tale of neglect and abuse. Lacey's mother, who was named Sheila, was a police and court clerk for the small city of Baker nearby. More recently, before her daughter's death, she became an assistant to the city prosecutor of Zachary. Clay, who was Lacey's father, was an official for the non-profit company Baton Rouge Civil War Roundtable. She was also on Slaughter's Board of Aldermen. The two of them were very well liked in the community. They went to church every single Sunday and otherwise just blended in with the neighbor. People saw very little of Lacey after she started to become homeschooled. However, the last time anybody outside of her parents would see her was when she was 21 years old and she was outside of the house exercising. She was outside of the house, but not far from her house. And this is when a neighbor spotted her. She was 21 years old, and that's the last time that we know of that anybody outside of the house has seen her. But after that incident, she just kind of disappeared. The neighbors stopped seeing her altogether. The neighbor that saw her when she was 21 years old was 59-year-old Robert Blades. At one point, he was chatting with Clay, just like making small talk as neighbors. And he did ask Clay where Lacey was. However, Lacey being an adult, Robert assumed that he was going to tell her that, oh, Lacey moved out. She went to school. She got married. Or she has a family of her own now. But Clay's response was weird. He just told Robert that Lacey was still living there with them, and that she was still living in the house. And then he very quickly changed the subject. There was nothing else suspicious going on, though the neighbor had no reason not to believe him. But big questions is why Clay's behavior was wired, and why he changed the topic intentionally. The local coroner said Lacey had melted into the sofa, with sofa material and feces being found in her stomach. Her death was ruled a homicide by East Feliciana Parish Coroner Dr. Ewell DeWitt Bickham III, who described the scene as sickening. Dr. Bickham said that evidence suggested Lacey may have been on the couch for at least 12 years. Lacey died from starvation, among other factors. Some believe that Lacey might have suffered from locked-in syndrome, a condition where a person is fully aware but cannot move or communicate verbally due to complete paralysis of nearly all voluntary muscles in the body, except for the eyes. Supporters of this theory argue that her parents may have misinterpreted her condition as severe autism and failed to seek proper medical treatment. This could have led to her being trapped in her own body without the ability to communicate her suffering. But this is false, and Lacey doesn't have locked-in syndrome. Another theory suggests that Lacey's parents intentionally isolated her and possibly contributed to her condition worsening, either due to ignorance, neglect, or malicious intent. Proponents of this theory point to the extreme neglect and the fact that Lacey was confined to a single spot on the couch for an extended period, They speculate that her parents may have known about her condition but chose to ignore it, resulting in her deteriorating health. Her parents, Clay and Sheila Fletcher, were charged with second-degree murder by a grand jury of 12 in Clinton, Louisiana, in May of that year. The couple were released on a $300,000 bond each and pleaded not guilty in July 2022, but the evidence painted a horrifying picture of long-term neglect and abuse. The community mourned Lacey's tragic death, holding vigils and demanding justice. This case not only highlights the severe consequences of caregiver neglect, but also raises questions about how such a situation could go unnoticed for so long. The story of Lacey Fletcher is a tragic chapter in our collective history, one that serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the capacity for cruelty that exists within us all. As we grapple with the aftermath of this senseless tragedy, may we never forget the preciousness of every human life and the imperative to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of the unexplained and the macabre. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that are true. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.